Hi there. Today I wanted to talk about Today I wanted to talk about this thing, this beast I have over here, and this is called the Eternal Guardian. It's a piece that I built some time ago, and it was way too much fun to build. It's a Warlord Titan, or at least it used to be until I started working on it. I think it still is, but it was meant to look a bit like the Imperator Titan. The Imperator Titan, you might know it. It's like the largest class of Titan in the old Epic game, Warhammer Epic game. And I really hope they will someday make an Adeptus Titanicus version out of it, because I just love the concept of a walking cathedral castle with cannons and guns and people on top of it. I don't know why, but just like crawlers, which I did a video some time ago, I just like the idea of a walking castle, basically. But the Warlord Titan didn't exist, and they released the spires kit for the Adeptus Titanicus, which are these spires, the towers. And I thought, why not make one for myself? So I got a Warlord Titan, and I got a spires kit, and I just started happily kitbashing them together into one big thing. I have the whole process of building it recorded on my website, so I'll link to there so that you can find all the progress update shots. But I want to talk about a couple of things here. I'm simply a huge fan of the scale, the 6mm scale. This size of people. They're just so tiny. I mean, what's not to like about them? I love the old Epic game when it was produced. I had a couple of Space Marine kits, and I didn't play the game actually, but I just love the size, the scale it gives you. I mean, I put some of these figures on the bottom here, and it helps with telling the story of the skill so well. I mean, if you have a Titan on a base without anything else on there, it's quite hard to judge the size of what it actually is. I mean, looking at the details, you can get some sense of it, because the detail on the Adeptus Titanicus kit is really fantastic. It's amazing, but it doesn't really show in a lot of ways how big it actually is, except for some things like the entrance at the back. So that's a door, and a door will give you a proper sense of scale quite quickly. But for the rest, I mean, the guns could largely be just tiny guns, and this could be just a really big dreadnought gun. And adding these tiny figures to it, yeah, it just sells the scale of the thing more to me. So I did a couple of things here. I bought these tiny metal figures. These are actually metal from Vanguard miniatures, which I can highly recommend. They have some beautiful sculpts and beautiful kits. And I added these onto the castle that I built on top. I used a couple of them as statues. So this is a miniature which I made into a statue, and here at the bottom as well. I had loads of fun painting these in copper and then nihilic oxide patina on top of it. That was a cool process. And here behind the organ, I also made a tiny organ, which was a cool thing to build. And here is a very small saint, a sister of battle. That's also part of the backstory of this machine. So he's called the guardian because he's carrying the saint, basically. And what I did is I magnetized these, both arms, so they can be removed. So you could, in theory, swap them out for different weapons if you like. Also, I added a small citizen who's hiding behind a rock. And I replaced all the leg plates with the roofs of the spires as well. So I really tried to make it into actually a walking castle. I made one different one, not a Titan, but a knight, an Imperial Knight, an armiger. I also made a castle out of it with the same spires kit, and it also worked quite well actually, because the as I said, the buildings don't really give away the skill immediately, but I do think it just works better on this skill because it's all the same skill. I finished this as a project in itself, so once I had this done, I was finished for a while with the Adeptus Titanicus, but I wanted to make like a bit of an army, an Adeptus Titanicus army out of it. So I decided to build a couple of knights and some smaller titans, but of course I couldn't just take the normal sets, so I went and built these. So these are my knights. Again, the legs are from Vanguard miniatures. These are the crawler kits, which are pretty fantastic as well. And I used lots of spires, Adeptus Titanicus spires kit to add it. I added the weapons from the Vanguard tanks as well, where the legs are from. And the rest is all bits and stuff that I had lying around. So this is a knight rocket pod. This is a spires tower with an inverted side and the dome. So this is actually a dome, the top side of a spire. And I added some, I don't know, a chaplain or a priest on top who is guiding the troops forward. Here I made a pulpit, also with a teeny tiny priest inside, on top of a cannon, so he can add some punch to his his words. And I added a couple of statues as well, again with the copper and the patina. And this is just this is a walking chapel with a statue on front and a chainsaw, because we're still in the 41st millennium. And for the bases, I tried to make some checkerboard flooring. So this is like a Lance of Knights on one side, and then I added a Warhound, but instead of a walker I wanted to make a tank out of it, because if you can have a walking castle, then why could you not have a driving cathedral or a driving church? So this is again all spires bits, but also with the Civitas kit as well for the front and the back and the top sides. And I added some oil drums. And these flags actually came from my Eternity Gate build. So I don't know if you've seen it, but I built the Eternity Gate a while ago in the same scale, so the 6mm scale, and I printed heaps of flags. And of course I had flags left, so I thought, yeah, if I still have them, why not add them to this build? I thought it was pretty cool. Adds a little bit more skill as well. And this is of course another Vanguard miniature, and this is a Tech Priest, which is also pretty cool. And a Titan pilot on top there. Yeah, so this is a Warlord Titan. And the final one is the Reaver Titan, which I also turned into a tank. So the treads for this are from the trucks kit for 40k, so the regular 40k with the crane and the small train that you have. So I used those tracks. I added a Reaver cannon and some stuff, and the containers from the industrial kit. And I built a small cathedral on top of that again, with a Titan pilot in the front, guy with a nice flag, and a big cannon on top, of course. So the weapons are the cannon, but he also has a missile launcher on the side. So I built it into the tower. I really like this side as well. So this is the entrance with a small guard. Yeah. So this is an entire Gothic Convoy army. So we have the Warlord Titan, a Reaver Titan, Warhound, and some Knights. What I also like about the skill is that you can make a lot of small vignettes, so small stories inside the miniature, because you have such a huge surface area to build on. You can make, so normally one miniature, like in 28mm scale, one miniature is one story, and if you want to make multiple stories, you need to build like a really big diorama or lots of miniatures. And on this scale, in one miniature you can make lots of things going on. So as I said, I have this small guy hiding back here, which is a little bit of a story in itself. We have these two guys here, like spotting the enemy and relaying the information to I don't know who. We have a small organ here with a guy playing the organ, hopefully shooting some missiles out of those tubes as well, like like the Sisters of Battle tank. Then we have a small guard here just standing, probably smoking a cigarette behind his gas mask. We have another guard. Oh, and he's another spotter, but then for the back. Yeah, and I think it adds a lot of character and detail to miniature, to have all these things together. And we have the saint, of course, standing there on top of a claw, which is a pretty badass place to be, I guess. On a power claw. Hope it's not energized at this point. And even on this one, I mean, this is a knight, and already here we can have a small story of a priest standing on top of a cannon, and these statues telling you something about the saints of the world that it came from. So the backstory for this that I came up with is that the world that all these cathedrals and castles and chapels were on was destroyed, and they saved all the pieces they want to save, so all the relics. And in order to save them, they built them into vehicles. So they built knights and tanks out of it, just to be able to save all the holy relics there. It's just that the production of Games Workshop is at this scale is amazing. If you look at what the level of detail and the quality that they can make in plastic is simply fantastic. So yeah, I really hope that they'll go for that, and that they'll produce an Imperator Titan. I mean, with the new War Master Titan, I think that's a step in the right direction. That will be like a step up from here as well. But the Imperator, I don't even know how big it will be, because in the old Epic game it wasn't actually that big. If you compare the old Epic Titans to the Adeptus Titanicus Titans, there's quite a scale difference. So the Imperator will be, I don't know, huge. So yeah, looking forward to that a lot. I think they can make it work with the new kits that they're producing. That should be amazing. Yeah, so enough rambling from me. I hope that you liked it. If you have any questions, feel free to add in the comments, and see you next time. Goodbye.